Hi everyone, so today we're going to show you how to draw figure 11-51 indicator holder. So let's move forward with that. So the first thing is I'm just going to draw a box. I'm going to draw a box, and this indicator holder is in metric. So I'm going to draw it. I'm just going to follow the dimensions in metric. I'm going to draw the whole part that way, and then later on when I'm done, I'll scale it down to inches. I just find it to be faster that way. So I just draw my box by 70 by 54. And then I am trying to locate the circle. And I'm trying to locate my circles, the center lines of my circles right now. So that's what I'm doing. And I locate those circles and I move out. Now I'm trying to locate how big that circle is. Right now it is 13 inches in diameter, so I'm making a line that's 13 inches. And I am also finding out how high the platform is that the circle is on, that cut happens, and that platform is 14 inches, so that is what I'm doing. I extend it up, and then I want to trim, and I have my hole there. Now I'm going to try and locate the same thing from the top. Since they're both on the same center line, I know where my center is. I can make my circle radius would be 6.5, or the diameter would be 13. Then I just bring those lines up. And then now I'm going to trim and delete the lines I don't need. Okay. All right, so that's how it will look on the top view. Now I gotta draw the platform. So I'm gonna go from that midpoint to that midpoint, that midpoint to that midpoint, to that point. Now I will try and highlight, locate that cube. So now I am going 24 inches up. Locate with the top of that cube. Now I'm trying to locate how long that cube is, which is 28 inches going down. Now I'm trimming the lines I don't need. I escape, go back. Now I roughly have the front view almost done. Now I gotta locate. I'm trying to locate the circle. So I'm trying to see how high from the bottom of the part the circle is. So I go across, I know it's 25, go across, I just locate the center of that circle. When I go up, get a circle command, try to do dimension, didn't work out. So for some reason it didn't want to work again. So I decided to click, put the circle there. Now I do dimension, and now it worked. And now I make that 13 diameter. I get out of it. And now I have my basic front view. I'm going to make a line at the bottom because it does not go all the way through, and you will see those two lines. So that is my basic front view for this part. I'm going to explode this line because I made a polyline, and I need those lines to behave separately because I want to layer it later. Okay, so there, I want to also explode that line, trim it, make separate lines because those lines are going to have to be different later. All right, so now I want to move on to my top view. I'm going to set it a set distance from the top of there, 15. Just make a vertical line. And I think that's too close, so I think I'm going to move it up another 15 or 10. All right, so now I start, make that 54, go across, finish a square. And now I'm going to project the center line of that circle. I'll use parallel. I paralleled that 14. I'm just going to explode it. It'll be a lot easier to do it that way. So now I do the 14, and now I have that top portion there. All right. Now I'm going to locate this box from the top view. I'm going to project that line up, and then I'm just going to use parallel again. Go that way. There's that box, and I'm going to trim. Okay. I have my basic front view. Now I just got to project these lines up, because that's where my hole is located. Highlight, trim the insides, put the lines back in, because you will see those lines. It does not go all the way through. And now I know that the one on the top is going to be similar to the one on the bottom, so I just mirror it. Make sure that my center is located correctly. So it should be 20 inches from there. And now I'm just going to move my circle and move that center right there. And then delete. Okay, I'm going to trim that right there. I don't put a line there because it does go all the way through. All right, now I have to show my hidden lines for my circle. So let me project the size of this circle up. And I'm going to trim. This circle does go all the way through the part. It says it right there. And then I'm going to make those into hidden lines. So I'm going to put those two lines on my hidden line layer. That's not it, right there. And you see how the hidden lines are way too small. I'm going to change that. Go to properties, line type scale, and I change those. All right, so I basically have my top view almost finished. And now I'm going to work on my right side view. I want to make sure that I have the same distance. I have the right side view the same distance as the top view, so I mirror that down. Now I'm going to make a 45-degree line so I can project stuff to it and then project it down. So it's a lot simpler now that I don't have to measure anything or look at any dimensions. So I project this down, make my initial rectangle. Again, from there, from the bottom. And now I'm going to trim. I want to trim all those lines. Have my square rectangle. Now I want to project the sides because it's going to be 1L. So I'm just going to project that from the top view and from the front view. Copy. Over there. There. Now I'm going to project it down. You can also just do this by making using offset and offsetting at the distance you want it, but I chose to project. Trim the ones I don't need. Okay. Just trim all the ones that I don't need anymore. And there's the first shape of my right side view. I want to project that. Oops, I kind of messed up there. All right. So I projected that line across. It's there. Now I'm going to project where that hole is to make a hidden line there. I'm going to match properties, match that. There's a hidden line there. And I'm also going to project this hidden line across. Trim. I'm going to match that properties with that one. I'm going to project those hidden lines. to the part, and I'm going to match properties again. Okay, so now we have our basic right side view. Now I'm just going to delete all the unnecessary lines. But first, let me do the fillets and rounds that I need to do. So fillets and rounds, I just type in R for radius, and then I type in 3, which is the size of the fillets and round. And then I just do all those where they're required. And do the same thing on the right side view. I need it there, but then I gotta put that line back in there. And I also gotta put a line there. Just a light line because it will show. So that is my basic right side view. Now I just have to do this also on the top view. Okay, so let me delete the lines that I don't need anymore, fill it, and then do that. You see how that line is one whole line? I need to trim it because if I do the fillet, it will trim it anyways. Same thing with that line. Okay, so now I can continue making the fillets. Okay, so I think we're done with most of the fillets. Make sure that that's 2 independent lines. Okay, now let's move on to the next step, which would be extending. So I have to extend these lines to where the fillets are, as you can see. Extend, 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 nothing there, extend one more. There we go. All right, so now I gotta match properties. I'm gonna match a line from a layer, and then I'm gonna match the lines that I believe should be darkest right now. And now I'm just gonna do that for all views at once, so I don't have to match the same property again. All right, so I think I matched all my greens. And now I'm gonna select the second heaviest line. All right, now I'm gonna select the medium ones. So I have my lightest, my darkest, and my medium already. Now I'm gonna get rid of. So now you see that I have all layers that I need. I'm gonna go and put the center markers on there. I should have done this after I scaled it. You'll see why later. But this is the way you use the center markers. Just make sure they're a little bit off from there. Yep, that one's good. And now I got to put center markers in where the hidden circle is there. Okay, good. Same thing on the top view. I'm going to extend this one a little bit. Okay, so I have my center lines. Now I just gotta change their color. So I'm gonna match properties. Match that one, that one. See how it changed because I picked a solid layer, then I picked the right one. So now I'm gonna go to center, pick that one, and now it should change. See how it only has one dash? I kind of want two dashes for the center line, so let me go into properties. All right. So now we have that, and now I'm gonna scale. So we're gonna scale this. 1 millimeter is equal to 0.0394 inches. So if you scale it down to that, you will now have a drawing that's in inches, not millimeters anymore. And this is a better, easier way to do it. That way you're not converting each dimension one at a time. You just convert it once and then you just scale it. And then you make the adjustments as you go. Okay, let's just make sure that our center lines and hidden lines are the right scale, because from going from big to small, they were not correct. All right, so we did that. Make sure everything's okay. Now we're gonna add our center lines again, because when I scaled it down, they did not look nice. All right, so now our center line looks okay. Match properties. So they all look the same. All right, so now I want to put some dimensions on it. So I'm going to go grab the dimensions I used for my one-to-one scale drawings, bring it close to there. And now I'm going to make sure that my dimension line is 3/8 away from my object line. So I'm going to offset these extension lines right now that I'm making. I am going to offset them 3/8 from the object line. Offset it down the wrong way by mistake. So I'll go back and delete that one. So I offset all sides right there. And let's just put the two principal dimensions for each view on them. Make sure I got the one-to-one, and then make sure I put it on the right layer, which is dimension layer. Then I go there and just simply add them. It should be 2 dimensions per view. And that's it. And then I delete my extension lines. Don't need. Or I take the text and I want to copy it. Take the text, copy it under it, just so I can write front view on there. Make sure that it's 1/8, because all text should show up 1/8 on a one-to-one drawing. I'm going to move those to the center just so it looks neater. Having a hard time with that one. All right. So you go there, and those are the dimensions. And now I'm going to change the name. All right, front view. Make sure it's all capitals. change it and move it to the middle. Then I'm going to change that to the end of it, and then extend that side to the other end of it, so I know that it's centered on the part. Okay, and I'm just going to copy it up, and put view there. Top view. And put right side view right there. Let's bring that back, make sure it's centered on there. Okay, so I did all that. Our part's almost done. Now we just got to get it ready to be printed. So we're going to go to paper space and go to our viewport. Double click on our viewport and find our part. So we find our part, get out. We want to change it to 1:1. Do that. Modify the viewport a little bit so it fits in our paper. It looks good. Move it a little bit so it's centered as best as we can. I'll move it a little bit more. There we go. Okay, now I can lock the layer. So I lock it and go inside and you see how my lines are solid. You can go to properties and change the size of it, and then that should fix the issue. But it looks like I had it the right size. I just needed to hit do regen. So I go to RE, regen, which will regenerate this image on this page. And then you see that that was the issue. So I double click. Now I'm going to put my name. Melvin. I'll put the date. Okay, now I want to put the part name. After I put the part name, it's very important to also put the scale. So the scale would be 1:1. So 1 foot equals 1 foot. All right, and now when you have all that, copy because I want all that. Change the tab for your paper space so you can identify this part later on. You can just copy and then paste it. So Control V for paste. So we have our drawing. It's done. Now we gotta print it. So we go to print. Okay. Go to PDF. Make sure that we have our pen setting that we created. And then send a plot 1:1, and it should come out like that. See how your darkest part come up first, and it's perfect. And then you plot, save to where you want to save it, and we are done. Thanks very much. If you have any questions, please let me know. Thank you.